the topic, the theme of the entire day of the conference is a call to innovate. Now, Sarah, I know that your topic specifically that you are talking about during the conference is why business, financial health, and personal health matter. So tell us, why is this topic so important, and why are you going to be sharing more during the conference in this area?
Yeah, sure. Well, my background is that I've worked for 12 years as a tax accountant. So financial literacy and knowing numbers, etc., is one of my passions. So these days I help small business owners understand the story behind their numbers and help them to create efficiencies and increase profits, etc. But I've also in the past suffered with my own sort of personal, maybe mental health issues and depression and anxiety and things like that in years gone by. And I'm really aware of how even Christian business owners can get to a state of overwhelm and even burnout, I've seen, because they don't perhaps plan properly. Maybe there could be lots of reasons as well. They get into a state of being too busy, too much on, haven't planned. And I've even this year, a couple of people that I've been coaching have got to that point where they've had to take a few weeks off. And then they're out. They're it. They don't. No money comes in, and it's not a good state to be in. So that's why I'm really passionate about it. Is about helping Christians and non-Christians alike in the marketplace to overcome that sort of thing.
Yeah. And I'd imagine that when we're stuck in problem solving all the time and reacting, putting out fires in our business, we really can't ever get to the place where we can take a step back and really sit down and innovate in our business because we're too busy putting out fires. Do you find as you start to work and share the principles that I know you're going to speak about at the conference, that as soon as those fires are put out and they're the right systems and they've got the right structure and processes, that businesses all of a sudden opportunities open up, doorways open up. They were always there. It's just that they were too busy fighting fires. Do you find that happens?
Yeah, I think once a business owner starts to even just put some little plans in place and removes themselves from all that day-to-day sort of nitty-gritty type of thing, and they actually put aside, I think it's putting aside time to work on your business is really important. And a lot of small business owners, don't do it, or they don't, because they keep thinking, I've got to spend time on the money-making things, the things that are going to get the turnover. And of course you do. But I think, putting systems and processes, which doesn't sound very sexy, if I can use that word, is people don't like to go processes and systems and numbers, but the benefits that they get just far outweigh the time that's spent on those things. And so when they do deliberately put aside time to go, okay, I'm going to work on my processes and systems, I'm going to put that time aside to work on things. I mean, as a coach too, I give people what I call homework, if you want to call it that, in between the sessions that we have. And it kind of pushes them. They go, oh, okay, now I've got to do this. Sarah's told me to do this. I need to put aside the time. And maybe just having someone to give you that little push gives you a bit of motivation. And once they see the benefits, they go, why didn't I not do this before? Why didn't I not delegate sooner? Why didn't I plan before, and it really opens up their eyes to the possibilities, that's for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about systems and processes, and let's challenge some of the beliefs around that. So I love systems and processes because one of the things my mentor has told me many years ago, and it's true, systems and processes liberate you, because when you've got tasks and things that you need to continue to manage yourself as business owners, often we start off on our own. We can't then have teams support us, take over certain aspects of the business because we don't have those systems in place that helps people follow that. Also, too, I think many entrepreneurs or small business owners who want to grow, when they haven't got those systems in place, some of the reason that's holding them back from growth and innovating in their industry is because they're not realizing that what they're doing is not efficient. It's not productive. So things are taking them far longer to do if they're, maybe not focusing on the right method too. Is that one of the things that you find too, when people do get those processes in place, they can start to monitor and see, can we do things better? Can we do things quicker, more efficiently? And that's really part of innovating and improving, isn't it?
Yeah, that's for sure. And I mean, these days, gone are the days where you had to write like a big 100-page manual and stuff like that. We can even do, and look, there is value in having written things down. But I mean, these days you can do this sort of thing. Like if you want to show a new staff member how to integrate into your business, or like an induction manual, you can do it on a video now. You can just do 2-minute snippet videos of how do you do certain things in your business. You don't have to sit there and write checklists. I mean, of course, checklists have their place too, but yeah, it is liberating, because then I feel like if you don't have those processes and systems in place, that it takes up headspace as a business owner, because every single time you go to do that function, you have to go, oh, okay, now how do I do that again? Whereas if you've got the video, you've got the checklist in front of you, you can just go, right, that's how we do it. And then all you have to do is then duplicate that with a staff member, and you've got a delegation, and you free up your time, and it just starts to liberate headspace too, I think, is one of the main things. Because then again, we get into overwhelm and stress because we don't have those systems in place, and humans are inherently, we like structure, and we like the same things, and we're a little bit averse to change, aren't we? So we need those structures.
Yeah. One of the other areas that I've seen make significant impact, and this is around finances and in business and income. So often as business owners, we are, as you said, looking for ways to create multiple streams of income. And I want you to speak into this because you've got this background in accounting. I remember speaking to a business owner who was a cleaner, and she also thought that she would expand her business by having lots of different cleaning equipment and cleaning this and cleaning that. And she would very much allow her ideal client, or who she thought was her ideal client, allow her to determine the types of products that she would sell. She got to a stage that she was offering so much, it was overwhelming. And when the particular accountant, and this is why I love that you're talking about this and going to be sharing more in the conference, when the accountant actually sat down and said, let's evaluate where are you generating the most income from and what's taking up the most time, she realized she was spending more time, a significant amount of time, selling bottles of spray than selling her services. And she said, I need to stop that, because if I spend the same amount of time to sell $1.50 bottle of, spray, if I shared that, spent more time in the cleaning services, I would get more work in for my team, and off we would go. How often, when we're not aware of how to read our numbers and how to look at our financial plan, we're not getting the right information, and God could be saying you need to focus on this area, but we don't see that. Do you find that happens a lot too in business?
Yeah, I do. People tend to think they know where their best, their most profitable activities are, or most profitable product. They think they know, but when you actually get down to it and really drill down into it, it's surprising what you find. And it even comes with time. Like, where are you spending time? If it's a business owner that maybe even in a services industry spends time, is there a better way of doing things? Is a more efficient way of doing things? And then if you go on the other side to like a product-based business, or even I've seen it in a big manufacturing firm where they really lost sight of their numbers, and people that were doing invoices were invoicing wrong, and they were losing money, like exponential hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they couldn't figure out why, because really they weren't really looking at it. It wasn't a priority for all. Their priorities were sell. And so sometimes we forget about our bottom line because we're thinking about our top line. We're going, I'm out there on the road getting more sales, selling more products, but there's something in between there called costs and overheads and wages and rent and all of that can blow out, and we lose sight of it. And that's why I'm really passionate about teaching people financial literacy and numbers, because I've just seen it go wrong so many times.
I mean, one of the areas I think that a lot of women in business tend to let themselves down, I'm just going to say that in that way, to try and be as careful as possible. Ladies, we are letting ourselves down because what Sarah was talking about now, and I think sometimes the perception is it's too difficult. But I know working with someone as yourself, and of course you can explain it in black and white to make it simple. What are the numbers that you need to start to be aware of? And maybe if you don't have systems in place, like a good accounting system, there's no way that you're ever going to be able to track that. But sometimes you can make the smallest of change in what you're focusing on and what you're doing that can have the most impact to the bottom line, isn't it? And as you could be making a lot of money on the top end, so income, but if we're not being good stewards for how we're managing that in the expenditure, then the bottom line is not going to be as healthy as we can. And to share a little bit more about that, about how often as women in business, especially Christian women in business, that whole topic of money is almost taboo. In business, we have to be comfortable. We have to know what our numbers are explaining so that we can make better decisions. Yes. What are some of the common beliefs that you like to help Christian business and women break through so that they can be more confident in how they're managing their numbers?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of fear around that. You know, a lot of women, even on social media, I've had a lot of women contact me on, you know, just saying, I need help with money. I'm coming from a place of fear around money because I'm unsure of how to deal with it and stuff like that. And I think it's a matter of education. That's why, again, I'm hot on financial literacy, because I really believe too, there is a responsibility on us to educate ourselves on finances or whatever area it might be. You know, for me, let's identify where our weaknesses are. Like for me, marketing and sales and things like that are a little bit of a weakness for me, and I've deliberately gone out of my way to learn those things this year. And it's the same with money. I think you've really got to make a concerted effort to learn about money and how you steward it, because inherently we're all in business to make money. We're Christian, you know. Show me in the Bible where it says that we're not in business to make money, or we're not to be successful, abundant, we're not to have riches. It doesn't say that. It says, you know, steward your money well, and we're all, if we're kingdom business people, and they're actually here to make a profit. And why do we want to make a profit? So then we can further the kingdom for God's purposes on the earth. And if we're not good at that stuff, I think you need to get help. You need someone that knows how to deal with that stuff and know and recognize where your weaknesses are. And just, this may sound a little harsh, but ignorance is not an excuse. Like, it's just like, you know, even in biblical terms, God says, read your Bible, find out what I'm saying to you in my word. If you're ignorant of these things, then that's actually your fault because you haven't read it. And it's just like, let's take, for instance, government regulation, tax department, or all these compliance things that businesses have to deal with, BASs and lodging, all this. From their point of view too, ignorance is not an excuse. If you don't know the law and you don't do the right thing, then, you suffer the consequences type of thing. Yeah. So, I'm really passionate about helping people. I like to talk to people in layman's terms in terms of money, because I know there are a lot of professional service people out there, legal, accounting, whatever, that just don't talk in, if I can call it, layman's terms, or how people understand. There's a lot of jargon around some of these financial terms, and we've really got to get back to basics, I think, and get to the core issues of where people have this fear surrounding money. Yeah,
definitely. I totally agree. And I mean, as we're becoming far more profitable, and we can be generating, as we said, a healthy income. However, if we haven't looked at where are our expenditure, are we overpaying? Are we paying double because we don't have a system to track? The net profit can be low, or even a loss. And as we're building more profits, we can hire more people. We can be the organization that hires more people. It impacts their lives. And, and so that if we have this unhealthy fear around money, and maybe because we're feeling a little bit ashamed that we don't ask, there's no shame in asking. And, I've even had men who have been in business that I've heard that say, mate, I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you tell me in English, please? They ask them, can you share that in a way that I can understand? What do I need to know? We need to ask, because it's not all of a sudden going to get familiar with us if we don't get in there and learn. And I love the way that you've said an area that you felt that you weren't strong in, you made an intentional commitment to making that be a priority. And I think as business owners, especially kingdom business owners, we have a commitment to be able to look at where am I weak, how can I get support, how can I increase my learning so that I can make the best possible decision at all. So what are you looking forward to as far as some of the other things that are learning? You're going to be talking about obviously finances and health and how that's going to impact innovation. What does that mean to you before we leave today? Innovation to you.
Well, I always think, you know, in this day and age, you know, think about the old model of the big business used to, okay, if there was a downturn in the market or if they were having trouble or something, some government regulation changed, etc., that maybe they looked at the model of, oh, let's cut costs and let's put people off and let's move premises and all these things to cut costs. And I just don't believe that that model is sustainable anymore. I believe that you need to innovate in business if you start to come up against things, whether it's spiritually, physically, whatever, that you need to innovate. And that's what I tell my business owners all the time. If something happens in your business that's an external factor, that, you know, if you think about the old SWOT analysis, you know, there's an external threat to your business, then you need to innovate and change, not just cut costs or put people off. I think that's just a reactive type of model for business. We need to be proactive, and that, to me, innovation means being proactive and looking for ways to do things differently that will help boost our business. Not because if you cut costs, all you're doing is really scaling back to some degree and mitigating risk to a point, and that those things do work to a point. But we've just, and especially with technology, you know, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. You know,
it's so important, isn't it? And in all industries, you know, the minute we get comfortable as businesses and think, well, I've got a nice little place in the marketplace and I'm going to keep ticking along, there may be a piece of technology that comes that all of a sudden half of the database that you have of clients goes, hey, let's use this. And you know, if you look at some of the industries now, even the travel and tourism industry with Airbnb and some of those other, the taxi industry with, you know, Uber and things. I think all industries, we never can get comfortable. And let's face it, as Christians, the minute we get comfortable, God does a shift, doesn't it?
That's right.
The minute we're comfortable Christians, he kind of, I'm going to shake things up here, isn't it? So, and in business, it's so important. So it's going to be an incredible event. There is the link, deborahconference.com, a call to innovate. And of course, as we know, as Christians, that, you know, we have someone who knows all things. We have someone that knows all things. And if we can tap into the all-knower of all things and who have created all things, then the source of where we're going to get our inspiration and innovation isn't too far. And I think it's just a matter of sometimes for some of us is looking at what is stopping us from hearing from the Lord of where we need to go, where we need to innovate, so that we constantly lean on him. So it's going to be an awesome event. We'll put a link. There's the link, but there's also a code word, RAIN, RAIN. Pop that into a special field you'll notice when you go to the URL, and then you can access the tickets for a very special price. 9th of November, thedeborahconference.com. That is the place to be if you want 2020 to be, and onwards, to be a time in your business where you can innovate. And of course, there's some awesome women going. Sarah is one of them, and many more who will be bringing their wisdom and insights to us on that day. So thanks once again for sharing what you are going to share. I can't wait. I think I'm going to have to bring a couple of notebooks with me, Sarah. I'm sure I'm going to be taking down. So I'll see you then in Perth.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. I'm really excited to be coming to Perth. It's going to be great.